So you want to just get going,
Sure.
Keith?
Yeah, and anyone on the phone, we're all able to do this via the computer or the web link participation. So if you're able to switch over, go ahead and do that. But we will jump into things here. So my name's Keith Lambert. I'm with the Ensuring My Future Board representative. I'm the vice chair here, and I know we have a few other folks from the Ensuring My Future group. I'm also with the Lansing Economic Area Partnership, which is the economic development organization serving the Lansing market here in mid-Michigan. And this is an event that we're really excited to be doing for the first time. So we wanted to put this together just to give everyone an opportunity to kind of talk through, any of the logistical questions, the content of presentation discussions, because it is the first time we're doing this. It's somewhat nebulous, and we really want to empower the speakers to both, deliver really helpful information, but to also understand the audience and what the kind of spirit of the event is. So the event, STEM Pathways into Insurance, was really kind of the collective brainchild of all of this group of people that have met with industry folks and really sees a gap in terms of especially math and technology-based career pathways made up into STEM. And we really wanted to get in front of high school educators and counselors to help them understand that there's so much opportunity in these realms, in these technology and math-oriented positions, especially for their kids to get jobs down the road. And insurance is an evolving industry. It's rapidly adopting new digital, transformations of business models and new technology itself. So really the purpose of this and the main target audience for everyone is going to be the teachers and counselors in the room on Thursday. With that being said, we really want to get them to help understand pathways of specific individuals, right? And that's why, with the young professionals panel, you're going to have people talking about kind of where they came from and how they got to be where they are today. We have an InsurTech founder, an insurance technology startup company, who's going to be chatting and delivering the keynote. So we really want to help inform teachers about what the pathways are, what the skill sets are, and get them excited about the insurance industry and help them understand that these are very rewarding, both financially and from a kind of intellectual fulfillment level. But there's a lot that the insurance industry can offer people that they might not think of, especially in terms of the software development and computer systems analysis, and obviously actuaries and accountants and the more traditional roles too. So that's really the purpose, is to get math and science teachers and counselors more aware and excited about all the opportunities that the insurance industry presents. So I guess with that being said, Rita, if you have, do you have the kind of the schedule, the itinerary in front of you? Rita, are you still with us? Okay, well, I will continue to kind of walk through just some of the initial pieces in terms of how we see this thing coming together. So we're going to have everyone be gathering, and in terms of the sessions themselves, we're going to have full AV prepared, as I mentioned in my email. And we really want to let the presenters kind of run with whatever format they want. I also did pass along proposed questions for the moderator's consideration on the two specific panels. And then we have the keynote during lunch. After everyone arrives, 11:30-ish, we're going to kick things off right at noon. Mike Maurer will be kind of giving the lay of the land and talking through, what the event is and why everyone's there. He is the chair of Ensuring My Future. And then I will be introducing Jeff Mason, our keynote speaker. And this will be in the main space, which we have not yet broken apart into the breakout sessions, which are to occur later in the afternoon. So after the keynote, we will jump right into our young professionals panel, which we have a moderator and a handful of folks on that. Again, there's draft questions that have been passed along. So if you have any questions on that, we can get into that in the very near future here. Following that, we're jumping into breakout sessions, and with the whole event's taking place at LCC West. That's an important thing. Free parking, very easy to get in. Right when you walk in the kind of main entrance, everything is going to be set up to our right. We're going to have all of the exhibiting companies out in the main hallway, and then we will have actual conference space into the right there, if you can visualize LCC West. Rita,
okay, so yeah, on the screen I put the agenda. Can you see it? Whoever is on computer?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Yeah, that's helpful, Rita. So we have Jeff kind of launching things off, and he's coming in from Ann Arbor. We're really excited to have him. So he's really responsible for kind of setting the tone and building the excitement level. And then I think that will, again, just continue building throughout the day as we get into the young professional panel. And that will really focus on looking at those 5 individuals, and Ben will really help them kind of talk through where they've come from and how they got into the insurance industry, and some of their experiences in terms of thinking about, these math, technology, science related skill sets and how they factor into the day-to-day lives of these young professionals. Rita, can you speak to these in terms of the technology breakouts and where they'll be occurring?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we'll have everybody go on a break between the panel and the breakouts, and we're going to divide the room in 2. It's basically just LCC will be moving a wall between the 2 rooms, and then we will have actuarial science on one side and AI on another. And so then we'll have that breakout, then we'll go into the other breakout, and then at the end they're going to move the wall. So we're all going to be in the same room all the time, basically. That makes sense?
Understood, yeah. So we're going to basically split the same space into 2 for the breakouts, and then we'll, again, presentations, PowerPoints, anything like that. We will have computers set up for both of the breakout areas. So the easiest way for presenters to bring a presentation would be on a thumb drive, and then we can hook right into the LCC computers that will be set up.
Yep. So yeah, LCC will have everything set up. Thumb drive, we'll just put them right in there, and we will have tech support right there for us if we need it.
Great. And what is the final count on the exhibitors that we have in the outside spaces?
We have 25 exhibitors. So yes, and they'll all be on the outside space. And so when people are in breaks and networking beforehand, they'll be able to go to visit with them.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. That's helpful. So following that, if you scroll down a little bit, Rita.
Yep.
I guess that we have it ending with the panel there. So following that, we're looking at having basically a transition period. There you go. So following the panel from 4:30 to 5, we're going to have kind of a closing reception that closes out the STEM Pathways into Insurance Conference and then jumps right into Ensuring My Future's Education Summit. So that'll be an important time for all of the exhibitors to get more exposure. And that'll also be a time where we're bringing in heavy reserves and kind of transitioning things into the next event. But I think that'll be the kind of the confluence of both in terms of the people interacting. So we're also looking forward to that. So I know we have a lot of some of the panelists and presenters on the phone. Just based on looking at everything that you've seen so far, what questions do you have for us in terms of how the events come together and the focus of your specific presentation or panel or anything related to the event at this point?
Hey, it's Don Cornish speaking. Just a quick question. Is your desire for those of us that are doing the panels to be there from what time to what time, just so that I can organize my day?
Yeah, that's a good question. So obviously we're very happy to have everyone attend as much of the event as possible, which will run, technically speaking, from 11:30 to 4:30. That being said, if you're kind of on a tighter threshold, looking at your, a breakout session, for instance, Don, you're more than welcome to arrive, a few minutes before that and leave soon after. I would say, attend as much as you're able and just kind of coordinate with us in terms of making sure we're set up for you to get all your information across in the time we have.
Okay, alrighty, thanks.
We do have a very nice lunch and then hors d'oeuvres to follow. So if you can stick around for any of the food, we'd love to have you.
Okay. And just on the tech sessions there again, is your expectation going to be more of a dialogue, Q&A, backwards and forwards, that sort of thing, or is the expectation to do like a stand and deliver?
We've tried to leave that flexible based on the presenters. I think generally speaking, and Ashley might pipe in to speak to this, but with the audience being teachers, it sounds to me like the more interaction, the more engagement with the audience, the better in terms of delivering the information. So I think, the more you can kind of make it interactive as a presenter, I think the better outcome we're going to get. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right. I just don't want to walk in thinking they're going to, we're going to have a good dialogue backwards, forwards, and they're going to sit there and expect a PowerPoint presentation, death by PowerPoint sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, I think we absolutely want to avoid the death by PowerPoint. And, as much as some of this is going to have to be technical in nature, the more kind of relatable, real world experience type thinking you can provide and really focusing on the, the human capital side and the people and the skills they build as it relates to the work, I think will be helpful, right? Because we're trying to create actionable ways for them to, to either change the way they interact with students or, get in touch and have conversations with students and parents about the insurance industry as a potential place that they could find opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking to teachers, they're very much like their students. So I would recommend doing like a mix of maybe have a PowerPoint or some type of visual aid just to keep them engaged and give them something to look at. But I think doing a mix of what you're talking about is going to help.
Okay.
Now, Keith and Ashley, I can pull up the panel questions. There's the young professional panels, I think. Can you see that one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have that one if you want to run through that really quick, because I know Eric is on the phone for sure. And then we can run through the HR questions after that, because Tom Humphreys is on the phone.
Sure. Yeah, so this is something that we've put together. Again, this is kind of just a jumping off point, I think, for Ben to think about some of the types of questions, and then for panelists, Eric, and the rest of your colleagues there, just thinking about the types of questions you're going to be asked and how one might answer those. But as you can see, really the purpose of this panel is, again, to just show, and put faces to the idea that, there's a lot of really cool opportunities at a lot of different levels of insurance agencies, insurance carrier companies, right here in the approximate area in Lansing and in Michigan. So having some of these, people that have gotten into the industry within the last 5 years to really just kind of talk through their stories and how they learned about it, what types of resources they benefit from, what their traditional kind of schooling experience was, and how they eventually ended up in the insurance industry. Eric, looking at this, do you have any thoughts or questions in terms of?
No, I'm feeling pretty comfortable with it overall. I've done these types of panels before, and they usually go over pretty well. So no questions on my part.
Okay, great.
And I know Eric actually submitted some of the questions.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking
Okay.
the more being relatable with the high school level, and kind of talking through the high school experience, I think should be especially helpful, in terms of if you think of yourself in that journey, starting in middle school or high school, I think will help make it very relevant for the teachers and counselors in the room.
Okay, we can touch on the HR panels. Can you see that one now?
Still
Not
showing
yet.
professionals.
Okay, take me a second to get over there then. So let me get over there. Okay, now can you see it?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the HR and company recruiter panel, this is really going to be a discussion that gets a little bit more into kind of the trends that people that are, I guess, kind of at the next stage of the pipeline after high school are seeing. You know, and when kids, you know, graduating as seniors in high school are trying to get right into a career path, or if they're pursuing some higher education level, whether, you know, LCC with their new program going to an Olivet or a Ferris State or a Michigan State University. And just talking about kind of the different levels of opportunities, the different skill sets, whether you're a high school grad or you're going for an associate's or a bachelor's or an advanced degree of some sort. Also talking about just the trends in terms of the company recruiters are able to speak to the types of people they need, the types of people they're able to find and hire, and kind of the changing dynamic of needs moving forward. So it'll be a little bit of kind of industry trends overall, and then also talking about very kind of concise pipeline of, you know, if they're in a high school program of something, they're strong in computer science, how do they become a software developer at, you know, a Jackson National Life and Auto Owners, any one of our insurance companies around the state of Michigan. And again, those questions are kind of set up in a similar tone to get at, you know, is the industry really seeing in terms of the demand for different skill sets. And a lot of this is with the backdrop of adopting more technologies at individual companies, which we will have kind of already covered through through both the tech breakout sessions and our keynote.
Okay, Ashley, do you have any other pointers for folks to talk to teachers?
Again, I think the best way to engage the teachers is to help them see their students in what you're saying. So my understanding is a lot of these teachers are going to have not a whole lot of background in insurance, and we want to really show off the diverse careers that are available to students and being very cognizant in how we present options into these career pathways, and making sure we're like highlighting different abilities, I guess. So if a student, you know, like if you know a student is really good with computers, well, maybe they should check out this type of thing. So kind of giving them pointers on that. When you're talking to teachers, definitely just be short and concise. Teachers' brains work. They get distracted very easily. So we want to make sure that we're keeping them engaged throughout.
Okay, does anybody have any questions at all so far? Mike, do you have anything to add?
No, we're looking forward. A lot of echo. Sorry about that.
Yeah, there's a few echoes here.
I turned the volume down a little bit, maybe that'd be better. No, I'm just looking forward to the session and looking forward to the group getting together and many different speakers. Still getting a lot of echo, sorry.
Yeah, so the main thing we're trying to get across is how great the insurance industry is. So we want to make them excited to go back, show their students that it can be as great as being an airline pilot, or as great as running a giant truck. Because some of these students, that's all they see is these hands-on programs. And so we want to show them that we can be as hands-on in the insurance industry as some of their other programs that they see every day. So as speakers, we appreciate you coming in and sharing that enthusiasm with these teachers and sharing what you do. So we do appreciate that.
And if anything else comes up beyond the email that I sent to speakers, you know, please get in touch with me or with Rita, with anyone on the team, and we'll make sure to get those things addressed or taken care of with you. But again, we want to promote flexibility. We understand, you know, there's not necessarily that much guidance being provided. So please do reach out if you want to brainstorm or bounce any ideas off of in terms of, you know, how to interact with the audience or anything like that. We're all ears, and we're here to, you know, to help make this a really strong event. And it's obviously the first time we're doing it. So, you know, this is something we really want to build into something that's a platform to help teachers in the STEM fields really just more and more understand and connect into the insurance industry and all the opportunities that are out there.
Okay, and I think everyone has both Keith and Rita's email, and then Ashley's available too. So if you have any questions, just let us know. And otherwise, you can just come right before your event. But if you could come for the whole entire conference, that would be great, because then you'll interact with the teachers, you'll help them learn, interact with other people in the industry. So 11:30 is our networking and check-in. 12 o'clock we'll be starting lunch, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we appreciate you helping out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us.